I think it would make a good movie, but that's just, my granddaughters and I talking,
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman,
And if you were just
Logan
trying to
Crawford.
investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're entering a world of dragons, courage, and unexpected friendship with a terrific author. Her name is Barb Landon, and she has penned a book that you, your family, your children will just love. It is called Unusual Friendship. It is set in the lush valley below Mount Orko, and this enchanting story follows Kyrie, a young hedgehog, and Lilycan, a dragon trapped by fear and prejudice, as they forge a bond that could unite or divide their world. It is filled with imagination, heart, and adventure. This book, An Unusual Friendship, is a timeless reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can spark the greatest change. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team for helping us put her on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Barb, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
This is such a great, unique, heartwarming story. How did you come up with the idea of pairing an unlikely duo, a hedgehog and a dragon?
Well, I am raising my granddaughters, and the oldest granddaughter's favorite animal is a hedgehog. And the youngest reads everything she can about dragons. She's just in love with dragons. So since they were little, Kylie, the oldest one, came to live with us when she was 2, and Lily came to live with us when she was 9 months. And we were constantly reading to them, and at nighttime, I would always make up stories for them. Well, Lily said to me, last winter, why don't you write a story about the hedgehog and the dragon? And I said, okay, I could do that because I've been making up these stories. So I sat down at the computer and I wrote the story, and that's how it all came about.
Wonderful. Out of the mouths of babes, as they
Yes.
say. Yeah,
Yes.
well, that's really, really wonderful. Well, that's such a blessing to have your grandchildren in your life and so close. And they're blessed to have you. You're blessed to have them. It's wonderful. Talk to us about the setting below Mount Orko. It feels so vivid. Was it inspired by a real place or purely from your imagination?
No, it was from my imagination. I just figured dragons must live in mountains. And I came up with that name, that mountain. And the hedgehogs basically live in fields and forest. And I just figured, okay, we'll have a forest next to the mountains. And that's how the whole thing came about. And, the forest is a prime forest. The only characters in there are animals. And the mountains are just filled with dragons, no people. And really, no animals would go near there because they'd be afraid that they would be food, obviously. So that's how I came up with the whole idea of the mountains and the forest.
Great, great. Well, I'm sure children must love reading about the adventure in that beautiful setting or hearing their parents read it to them. Is there a message you wanted to share through Kyrie and Lilycan's friendship?
Yes, absolutely. In this day and age, there's a lot of negativity out there,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of hatred,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of prejudices. And in a storyland, probably a hedgehog would be food for a dragon.
Yeah.
And in this case, the dragon got stuck in a big pit and was going to die. So the least likely thing that could save the dragon was this little tiny hedgehog. And I wanted to show that it doesn't matter what size you are. If you can just work together, a big creature like a dragon and a small creature like a hedgehog, and they work together and they do what they have to save each other and save everything around it, life would be good and many, many wonderful things could happen.
Exactly. Even the smallest among us can have powerful change if
Yes.
they're brave enough to make a stand. And I think that's a great lesson for children to learn about as well. This story is very unique and imaginative, yet it also feels like a classic. Have you envisioned it as a film or a TV series for kids or anything like that?
I think it would make a good movie, but
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows, the way things go today. But
Yeah.
I think it's important to show in this book that there were a lot of prejudices. There
Hmm.
were prejudices among the animals, among man.
Hmm.
Um, it showed how some people can be evil and just want to kill something for a trophy, and how if everybody worked together, they could stop this hatred and stop this unnecessary killing. And that's basically what I was thinking, with this book. And I think it would make a good movie, but that's just, my granddaughters and I talking.
Oh, well, you never know. You've done the hard work. You've created the book. You've created the story, and you never know whose hands it's going to wind up in. So maybe somebody in Hollywood will call you from Hulu or Nickelodeon or something like that and want to turn it into a film. That would be really, really wonderful because it's such a great message for children to hear. What age group did you write this story for, and have you been surprised at all by who's connected with it most?
I wrote it for like elementary age, or kids that what I refer to or what educators refer to as high interest but low vocabulary. There's a lot of kids that struggle with reading, but they have high interest. And I think a book like this would really, they'd want to read something like this. I know I'm a retired teacher.
I was going
And
to ask you, are you in education? You sound like a teacher. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a retired teacher and I've taught learning support kids and I've taught kids that struggle with reading and math. And I know a lot of times they want books that will spark their interest, but they struggle with the words. So something like this would, I think, really make them want to read. And that's kind of my philosophy with reading is find a book that kids are interested in and let them sink their teeth in it, and then they will read and read and read. But if they are forced to read something that they don't want to read, they give up.
I mean, I think most of us are like that. I know I like to read the books I like to read. And if
Right.
I pick up a book after a couple of paragraphs, even if it doesn't grab me, I'm putting it aside.
Correct.
But I know Harry Potter kind of filled that void with my kids. They never picked
Yes.
up a book. Harry Potter came along with books this
Yes.
thick, and they couldn't wait to read them because they love the story. So you're right on target there. And I know children will love your story as well. Any plans about expanding this world, turning it into a series, or maybe writing a sequel?
Yeah, my granddaughters want us to, reach out with more dragons, and there's several hedgehogs in this story. Kyrie is the main character, but her brothers are in there, and they all have different interests. So yes, they want me to continue with the storyline.
Where do you think it would go?
I'm not sure. I think that if they work together, they can help save other worlds and stuff, because that's the idea behind it. Work together, cooperate, and it's amazing what you can do.
Talk to us about the stakes involved in this story. It's either a matter of unifying the world or dividing it. Tell us a little bit about that conflict there.
Well, in this story, there is across the ocean a land where the king likes trophies. You know, he hunts lions, he hunts this, he hunts that, and he puts trophies around his kingdom, so to speak, his house or castle. And he wanted a trophy of a dragon head. So that he sent his soldiers across the ocean to this land that he had heard where dragons were. These soldiers just came into the town and said, you know, you better, I'm going to give you a certain amount of time to find a dragon, and I want the head to give to the king. And if not, we're going to destroy your town. So these people decided, well, they're going to have to do something. So they're the ones that dug the pit to try to trap the dragon to save their town. And the Kyrie and Lilycan, with the help of a family, were able to convince the people in the town that if we all work together, we don't have to kill the dragons. We don't have to kill you. We can save our country and make these mean people go away. And that's kind of the concept behind it, to teamwork and working together and overcoming prejudices and being able to work with each other.
I think
And
there's so many parallels to today's world,
oh,
particularly in the
yes,
US, where we're so divided. There's so much anger and hatred and mistrust and distrust on both sides. I think it's such a valuable lesson for children to learn about and realize that we can all just get along, as Rodney King famously
yes,
said. Yeah, the name of the book is An Unusual Friendship. It is written by Barb Landon. She reminds us that even in a world divided by fear, compassion can build bridges that last forever. It is a story that proves bravery and kindness are the truest forms of magic. Barb, thank you so much for joining me here today.
thank you. I appreciate it.
I
You have
appreciate
a
your
good
time,
day.
your insight, and the wonderful work you've done on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.